kind of just. So, what do you think when you see the words weighted mean? Just, I think it has to do with some of the percentages being different than the others. So maybe one side of the data set is a little heavier than the other side. Some data is heavier than the other. What's that? Yes, yes. Some averages have more meaning than others. So, for example, ACs. Is the risk very high when you do your ACs? Is it weighted heavy compared to a test? Compared to a test, ACs aren't heavy at all, right? So ACs are light, quizzes are a little heavier, tests are the heaviest. Tests combined are heavier than the exam, right? So yes, weighted mean. So on page 39, I want you to do this. When it comes to weighted mean, we're going to have two options. I just made this one up because I think it's nice to break this up into percentages. I deal with percentages slightly differently than repetition. Repetition is different than percentages in terms of how we solve things. Okay, and grab your highlighters, and here we go. So I'm gonna use yellow, right, and saying weighted mean involving percentages. And maybe I will just circle this. This is what Nick and Danielle, you were kind of referring to on the side there. When you notice a table with percentages, right? If you see, hey, I have a table and there are percentages. Can I just say something? It won't always be a table. Sometimes it'll just be in words. But it is, if you look at it, you'll be like, oh yeah, I can see a table coming out of this. And you should check to see if a row or column adds up to 100%. Make sure you highlight that. If you see a table with percentages, check to see if it adds up to 100. If the answer is yes, then we divide our final sum by 100. And right now, maybe that doesn't make sense to you, but hopefully, as we do some examples, it will. Okay. So, and I came up with these steps a little later after I made this booklet. So I'm gonna try to give you steps right here. This is honestly, if you follow these steps, it works every single time. Steps. You want to write this down maybe? The first thing you need to do is multiply. The second thing you need to do is divide. Add. I meant to say add. And the third step would be divide. And make sure this stands out. And the colors of my choice here would be multiply. I need a green. Add. And last but not least, divide. I'm going to use pink for that one. So you just have your three colors that you stick with, because it really stands out that way. Multiply, add, divide. Just remember those three things. Can we like do MAD? M-A-D? Just get mad when you see weighted mean tables. I don't know. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. Maybe you're mad already. I'm always mad when I'm in your class, so it doesn't really help us. Anyways. You see percentages, correct, guys? You see a table, you see percentages. And what that should tell you, right? Check if sum is 100%. Right? This is just a bubble. Check to see I hope you can see that. Check to see if sum is 100%. You write this down. Okay. So let's check. Grab your calculator. So we're going to check if the score row adds up to 100 or the weight adds up to 100. And you down the road, you're going to see a pattern. 45 plus 39 plus 85 plus 90. Like if I add up the actual scores the student got in the various categories, it's 259. 259% and doesn't add up to 100. Let's check the next one. So this could be columns, guys, okay? The setup, I cannot guarantee you what the province is going to do, but they do like tables. I can tell you that much. They do like tables. 15 plus 20 plus 25 plus 40. Oh, there it is. Adds up to 100. So what do you, when you see this, you know how I give you the 3 steps? Copy first, because right now you're not paying attention, which I don't blame you. Copy first, make sure it's all copied. When you see the 100, you know that third step which says divide? You're gonna have to divide your final answer by 100. See? So this means divide answer by 100. That's what that tells you. You're going to get it right every time. So what do I mean by multiply? I'm going to grab the same color as I used for multiplying. What I mean is you literally multiply across like that. That's what I mean by that. So maybe we will just have a times there, right? Times, 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 times. You're going to multiply across categories. And just for today, watch what I'm going to do here. I'm going to write weighted mean. How do you know it's weighted mean? Because we have 2 categories. We're not just adding a bunch of numbers and finding the average. We know that one row represents the actual score you got in that category, and the other one represents the weight that each category has. Which one has the heaviest weight, by the way? Exam, 40%. This is university, guys. I went to some courses where the final exam was worth 60% from my math course. So you could literally do nothing throughout the semester. You can just not hand in anything and just come and ace the exam and you pass, right? However, that's a lot of weight on your shoulders. Anyways, 45 times 15. 45 times 15. Put it in brackets. And you know how I say add? You see this part here? You have to add every time you multiply. So multiply. So what I'm going to do down the road is I'm just going to multiply and get these numbers down here right away. And then I'm just going to add them up. Right? So plus 85 times 25. Plus 90 times 40. What am I going to divide by? 100. Because I checked. I noticed that sometimes only one row is going to be percentage, sometimes both. Regardless, you're going to check if it adds up to 100%. If it does add up to 100%, guess what? Make an arrow saying, hey, we're going to divide this thing by 100. So watch what I'm going to do. You know how I highlighted add with green? So I'm going to go ahead and do this, right? The addition here. And you would do this for as many columns as there are. You would continue adding your products. And I will use orange for these brackets here. You're like, this almost looks like color coding, color by choice, right? Or color by numbers. And then I'm going to divide, right? This number here is what I divide by. So you have your 3 steps in this setup. So you multiply, right? Then you add, and lastly you divide. And in this case, it's easy. You're going to divide by 100. Okay. So let's crunch these numbers. Grab your calculators. 45 times 15, 675. Plus 39 times 20, 780. Plus 85 times 25, 2125, sorry, and 90 times 40, 3600. Stop right here. Can you tell which number is going to make the greatest impact on the final score? It happened right here on the exam, right? Because it was the heaviest and you scored the highest, 90%. This student, right, no name student, scored 90% on the thing that was the heaviest. So here you can actually see, oh yeah, the 3600 is going to do the most. It's going to bring your mark up the most, right? This one right here. Divided by 100. So now we're almost done. I keep the 3600 in my calculator, so I'm just going to add backwards, right? Plus 780 plus 675. You get 7180. 7180 divided by 100. So let's just divide our answer by 100 and you get 71.8%. You know what? I usually have your marks as 1 or 2 decimals, and I only round when it's report card time. Okay, that's when I round up or down depending on. So this is the final average for the student, for students. So this is actually exactly how we find your mark. This is exactly how I do it. I don't have assignments, so I have ACs, quizzes, tests, and exams, right? That's how I do it. And every category has a different weight to it. Okay. And so keep that in mind. So remember, the first thing I did is like, oh, percentages. I'm going to check if it adds up to 100. 1 did. Okay, that means right away that I'm going to have to divide my final answer by 100. And then I just followed these steps. I'm going to multiply. Then I'm going to add the answers that result from multiplying across, and then divide, which this one would be a little different down the road. The dividing part, I'm going to show you how to address that issue. Okay. Let's go here. So, oh, that was Janice. Okay, never mind. It wasn't a no-name student. It was Janice. Okay, or Janice. Janice. I don't know. Calculate Janice's average score. Watch this. Let's highlight that. If every category weighed the same. What if every category weighed the same? So assignments are worth the same as quizzes, are worth the same as midterm, are worth the same as exam. If everything is worth the same, watch this, guys. You essentially get rid of the weight. Right? There's no weight. Everything is just worth the same. So all I would do is go that plus that plus that plus that divided by 4. Okay? So I would just go 45 plus 39 plus 85 plus 90 divided by 4. Do you think that would be fair to do? To weigh everything the same? Right now, the AC, if you didn't do so well, that would actually affect you big time, because the weight would be the same as a test, would be the same as an exam, right? Some students wouldn't mind because they're, like, I'm always prepared. Some are not prepared, right? So 45, some need more time to like digest what is being taught, right? So we add up the 4, It's 259. By the way, this is not, most courses do not work the way we're doing this example here. Divide it by 4, you get 64.75. 64.75%. Why is it lower? Exactly. There's no advantage of getting a 90 at the end or in the middle or anywhere else. Versus the previous one, the 90 was associated with the heaviest weight, right? Heaviest weight being 40%. So keep that in mind. Okay. Let me just check here. I'm going to add my explanation here. Why is weighted mean greater? So add this to your thing, to your notes here. The exam had the best score and the heaviest weight. This, oops, you can't see that, can you? The exam had the best score and the heaviest weight. This resulted in a higher overall score. Okay. I want you to try this on page 40, question 5. Okay. I want you to try page 40, question 5 before we go. Page 40, question 5. Try that right now before we go. See if you can figure out what needs to happen here. It has percentages. Check to see if it adds up to 100. If it does, you know the drill. That way you know, at least I saw a lot of your answers. And so when you check this, you see percentages. So can we write down percentages? Percentages. Check if sum is 100. Very important. And when you check this, because you already did this, you notice that, hey, the percentages do add up to 100%. So we know we're going to have to divide by 100. It makes it easier. When we multiply, watch what I'm going to do, right? Just this is 2, this is 14, 30, 60, 105, 112, I believe. I'm almost there. This is 63. No, I'm off. This is 102. This is 112. This is 63, and this is 70, right? So you multiply, and so I allow you to do this. Go right ahead down the road. You just do it right on the table. So the weighted mean is simply like if you add up all these, you get 558, and we know we're going to have to divide by 100. Guaranteed. So this ends up being 5.58 devices. How do you get devices, Mr. Dirksen? Like, how do you know that? Can I show you real quick? We're going to do the unit analysis. Write this down on the side here. What did we multiply earlier? What were we multiplying? What do these numbers represent? The top one is devices. and we're multiplying it by percentages, correct? What are we dividing this by? Guys, what are we dividing it by? 100%. I don't know if you were ever taught this in school, but percentage cancels with percentage. What are you left with? Devices. So cool. Anyways, we're going to do more of this later. So I will say page 40 to 41. If you could try those, I will post the answer key and then we'll take it from there tomorrow. We will also look at repetition. Like what if something just happens a bunch of times, okay?